Who lives in a pineapple under the sea? Hey guys, it's Phoebe from WatchMojo. Today we're counting down the top 10 memes inspired by SpongeBob Squarepants.
Who wants a Krabby Patty at 3 in the morning?
Oh boy, 3 a.m.
Think you know Nickelodeon? Click here to sign in with your Google or Facebook account and take the new trivia quiz on WatchMojo.com.
Okay, bye.
Do you have any idea how hard it was to narrow these down to 10? There are more SpongeBob memes out there than we can count, so we're doing our best to look at the 10 most popular on the internet.
Don't they know I'm busy spoiling myself?
Number 10. No, this is Patrick. In an attempt to win himself some awards, Patrick gets a job working with SpongeBob at the Krusty Krab. One of his duties is to take over the cash register from Squidward, who has just quit, and take orders from customers, both in person and over the phone.
Is this the Krusty Krab?
No, this is Patrick.
But he gets a little confused when people keep calling and asking, "Is this the Krusty Krab?" To which Patrick always, while getting more and more annoyed, replies, "No, this is Patrick," not realizing the name of the restaurant.
This is Sparta! No! This is Patrick!
The scene was then memed to oblivion, with the biggest parodies coming from remixes with the movie 300.
That's the name of the restaurant.
Number 9. Doodle Bob. When SpongeBob tackled Frankenstein, one of the most famous science fiction stories of all time, it did so in a way both memorable and creepy enough to do it justice.
Doodle Boy, stop!
SpongeBob gets a magical pencil and decides to draw himself, but the creature he creates is a twisted monstrosity known as Doodle Bob, who proceeds to spend the day terrorizing Bikini Bottom until SpongeBob rubs him out.
I'm sorry, what was that?
But it's the weird noises he makes, coupled with his purposely bad animation, that made Doodle Bob into a meme, often used in bizarre reaction images. As well as that, someone even made an online game called Doodle Bob and the Magic Pencil about the episode. Number 8. Patrick hates this channel. Inexplicably, a TV falls out of the sky in front of Squidward, Patrick, and SpongeBob, and begins playing a commercial advertising moving away from idiots to a remote town full of snobs.
I hate this channel.
Predictably, Squidward is entranced by this ad, but right before he can find out where this utopia is, Patrick turns off the TV and just says, "I hate this channel." This scene has been turned into 1,000 different memes, with memesters simply changing what's on the TV screen. Sometimes it's the opening of My Little Pony, sometimes it's Rebecca Black's Friday, or perhaps most predictably, it's the beginning of Rick Astley's Never Gonna Give You Up. Number 7. SpongeGar. This episode may have first aired in 1999, but it's experienced quite the resurgence in terms of memes.
What are you simpletons doing? You're supposed to catch these things, not torture yourself with them.
The most recent thing to come out of it was SpongeGar, also known as Primitive SpongeBob, which is a screenshot from the episode of Caveman SpongeBob looking alarmed and defensive. This went viral as a reaction image all over the internet in 2016. But it's not the only popular meme SB129 has spawned.
Future!
The Squidward Future meme also originated here. Who knew Squidward's classic chaotic travels through time would lead to so much hilarity decades later? Number 6. Tough SpongeBob. While trying to get into the salty spittoon bar, SpongeBob has to prove his toughness, which he does by telling a story about how the other week he was watering his spice garden and stubbed his toe, and he only cried for 20 minutes.
Are you saying I belong at Weenie Hut Juniors?
It was SpongeBob's matter-of-fact explanation coupled with the 20 minutes line that made this one into such a hit. People edited pictures of this with all kinds of captions, usually about other things people suffered through, and disproportionately cried over, like stepping on a Lego brick or deleting a save file in Pokemon. Number 5. I don't need it, I need it. SpongeBob and Patrick visit Sandy in the tree dome in this early episode, not realizing that since they're aquatic creatures, they need water to survive.
I don't need it! I don't need it! I don't need it!
While watching them steadily and obliviously dry out is frustrating to say the least, it's made up for by the meme it produced. Staring at a vase of water, says over and over to himself, "I don't need it, I don't need it," and then finally screams,
I need it!
This is used as a reaction for when you're trying to convince yourself not to buy something expensive and also unnecessary, but your willpower just isn't strong enough to resist the temptation. Number 4. You like Krabby Patties, don't you, Squidward? There aren't many people or creatures who would pass up the opportunity to eat a famous Krabby Patty, and in one episode, Squidward, despite his usual cynicism for fast food, becomes addicted to them. He tries one burger and immediately becomes obsessed, and is eventually caught by SpongeBob.
And why are you sweating so much? And why do you look so hungry? And...
While he makes up a dozen bad excuses, SpongeBob's face becomes the smuggest grin you've ever seen. And finally, he puts Squidward out of his misery by saying,
You like Krabby Patties, don't you, Squidward?
These words are put over pictures of other people looking smug, or someone's words are inserted into a screenshot of SpongeBob to keep his tone but change the reference. Number 3. Confused Mr. Krabs. This meme began when someone posted an edited screenshot of Mr. Krabs looking panicked, with the caption, when you just wake up from a nap and your parents already yelling at you. And it quickly evolved into the image being reposted with more captions about panic-worthy situations.
We want a refund, Krabs!
While the origins of the original blurred edit remain unknown, it's a moment in the show where the citizens of Bikini Bottom demand a refund from Krabs after being sold SpongeBob's patented Pretty Patties.
Hey, where'd he go?
It's not surprising that the suggestion he part with some of his money is what sends Mr. Krabs reeling. Number 2. Mocking SpongeBob. The call and response format of mocking SpongeBob became hugely popular as a meme, with people alternating between upper and lowercase letters to create a mocking tone online, copying and making fun of whatever was being said to them, like when people say don't use that weird SpongeBob mocking meme and so on. The scene this meme comes from doesn't have anything to do with mocking, and is actually SpongeBob pretending to be a chicken after Squidward discovers, by reading his stolen diary, that every time he sees plaid, he clucks like poultry. Before we unveil our top pick, here are some honorable mentions.
This must be your wallet.
That makes sense to me.
Then take it.
It's not my wallet. I got you now, SpongeBob.
Number 1. Imagination. SpongeBob and Patrick acquire a brand new cardboard box to play in, much to the dismay of Squidward, who doesn't understand what they could be using an empty box for.
We don't need television. Not as long as we have our imagination.
SpongeBob explains that all they need is their imagination, creating a rainbow with his hands over his head. This moment has remained popular for years, and is often recaptioned or completely redrawn, with other characters standing in cardboard boxes making rainbows. The caption can say all kinds of things, from LSD to procrastination, and eventually evolved into the patronizing nobody cares format. Did we miss any? Use your imagination. Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe.